What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Bree. I'm back again with another video. This time it's gonna be story time. I have never done story time on here. Heads up, this will be the only story time that you see this way. We are doing story time with a twist on both my page and Jazzy Red's page. Y'all go check her out. Her link will be in my description. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out my last video. Check out all my videos, bro. Check them all out. They're just awesome. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe as usual. If you haven't already, go ahead and do so now. Give it some time. Alright, so anyways, yeah, today's gonna be story time. It's gonna be a very touching story. I just want y'all to, I want to introduce y'all to me. I want to let y'all know a little bit about me. No, I'm not gonna get the juicy, grimy guts of things because the world's just not ready for that breed yet. But, for sure, I will cover all the bases, because much details as I'm willing to spare. So, without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and call this one Child of a Star. I'm going to explain to y'all why I have that name. Child of a Star, that is me. That is, when I just snap. I go by Bree. Sometimes I'm Renee. Most times I'm Child of a Star. Nah, I'm lying. Most times I'm just Bree. But when I get into when I'm rapping, I'm Child of a Star. When I'm really emotional, I'm Child of a Star. Anytime it requires a big amount from me, where I have to dig in me for that creativity, where I have to dig inside of me for what really makes me me, I'm Child of a Star. And let me tell you where that comes from. So I was born April 20th, 1995. I turned 22 this year. 20 years ago, I'll say 19 and a half. No, 21 and a half years ago. I lost my mother. I was 18 months. There's so many different stories about what happened to her. Some say it was a blood clot. Some say, she was really hurt. I don't know. I never really was told that much because they're very light walking. They tiptoe around talking about it with me unless they're telling me about, happy times or how I'm so much like her or something like that. But basically, I never really knew her at all. The most I see of her face is in a picture. I don't even know what her voice sounded like. I was a baby. So, growing up, I never really felt the absence of a mother because my dad, he remarried when I was really, really young. So, the only mother I ever knew was Alicia Harris. And she was really my mom. Like, I called her mom, everything. Like, to this day, I love you. If you're watching this, I love you so much. She never treated me no type of way. Like, they never mentioned it to me, and I never felt like it was an absence. So, I grew up to about age, I think I was 6 when everything went to shit. Grew up to about age 6 with her in my life as my mother before I was ever told that my biological mother was not alive. So, yeah, we were living in a lot of places, but the mainstream of my life, we were in Manville, Texas. And, it was me, my sister, Christina. She's my older sister. She's my only sister that I have with the same blood running through my veins. I was with my other sisters, Alicia and Kiana, and then my best friend, my OG twin brother, Kerwin. We called each other twins because his birthday is April 19th and my birthday is April 20th, so it'd be his birthday and the next day it'd be my birthday. But I'm a year older than him, so it's like we'd be the same age for that one day, and then I'd kick him out tomorrow. But no, me and him were the best of friends. But to stay on track with the story, because I will lose my mind talking about our relationship, I miss him like hell. He's currently right now serving in the U.S. Army. Big ups to you. But yeah, just like she never treated me like I wasn't her daughter. And to this day, I think a couple years, 2 years ago maybe, saw her for the first time in about 12 years, and we both just like broke down crying. It was at my brother's wedding, and man, she hadn't seen us since we were small kids. I'll get into what happened to that. You know, I mentioned everyone we lived with and also my dad, my biological father, let me say that. You know, we were all living together, and we were living in Manville, Texas, and it was just, it was great, honestly. We were young kids. We always found things to get into. We were not TV couch potato kids. We were not allowed to be. If anything, if we were inside doing anything at all, we were reading books. We were being taught schoolwork. We were being taught educational things. Like we weren't allowed to just sit around and not be learning. So we were those kids that would go outside and just find adventures. Me and my brother Kerwin, we built this Tarzan rope out of this entire, it was just long, stupid long yellow rope. The thing could probably stretch from the longest street you can think of to about the middle of it. It was this long rope. And we had so many trees, they were spaced out. And we went from climbing those trees, wrapping them up over the strongest limb we could find, tying the best knot we could, tying it to another one. Man, we were swinging. That was the best fun ever. We also used to have clubhouses. You know, we couldn't get into the big kids clubhouse. They wouldn't let us. So me and Kerwin had our own clubhouse, you know. Next door, my first best friend ever, besides Kerwin, was this girl named Haley. And I remember when they first moved in, because they built that house next door, you know, a little bit after we moved in. No, a little bit after we were living there. And, you know, I watched that house go up. You know, we went over to that house a few times and played in it before there were any residents. And then next thing I know, Haley's living there. And I'm like, yo, what's up, Haley? Because they had trampoline and stuff. And she was the coolest kid ever. Like, we used to go over there, jump on the trampoline. She would always invite me over to just play, you know, inside. I wasn't used to playing inside. Watching movies, movie night, like just so many different things. I remember I was so afraid of fireworks, and they invited me over for the 4th of July. And, you know, I'd never popped fireworks in my life, but I just knew that they were just these scary things, and I was just terrified. I couldn't. So they're popping them. I'm in the garage damn near about to cry because I'm pissed. I'm terrified about it. But, yeah, that was a good friend. But, you know, all the memories that I did have in that house, the biggest memory I have is not the best memory. It's actually the worst. And I remember me and my little brother Kerwin, you know, of course, all of us were told to go outside that day. You know, we were told to go outside and play because they didn't want us to hear that argument. We had no idea that was why. And me and Kerwin were about to go in and get something to drink for everybody, and, you know, we stopped at the door. We hear yelling. We hear big words we knew nothing about. You know, we heard them talking about divorce and all this, and we're just like, yo, what is going on? This doesn't sound good. So we ran back to the other kids, the older kids, and we're like, yo, what is divorce? What are they talking about? What's about to happen? What's going on? Yo, they started crying, and we're like, what's up? Me and Kerwin are dead confused because they know what this is, and we have no idea. So, you know, they started telling us, you know, guys, when a divorce happens, usually they split up the kids, and considering that, you know, they're the only two that are actually sisters, we're all going to be separated. So we were like, bro, what is happening? No, this can't happen. So we just started crying, and we really couldn't do anything about it. And, you know, it seemed like my whole life took a downward spiral from there. You know, they left. Honestly, I don't even remember them leaving because we were asleep. Woke up the next day, they were gone. Like that's how it happened. Like my brother was gone from me for years, and I cried so much. I cried so much. I didn't hear from them. They were gone for years. And I'm trying to get emotional, guys. I'm not gonna cry. But you know, we were in that house. For me and my sister, we were there for a while because my dad, you know, I think he was going through a lot more things than I could really recognize at the time. And, you know, he was gone for a long time. and we were at the house by ourselves. Keep in mind, this is a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. My sister's 2 years older than me. This is a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old in a house by themselves for like maybe 2-3 days, possibly a week, but I don't even remember. I just know we were there for a long time, and our neighbors got very suspicious because they didn't see any cars coming into the driveway. They knew that, you know, we didn't move out, and, you know, at least they should have seen my dad, but they just saw us two all the time. And I remember this night, we were hungry. There was nothing else in the kitchen. There was nothing else in there for us to eat. We knew that the deep freezer, which was in the shed outside, had pizzas and stuff and then TV dinner. So we tried to go out there, but there was a snake on top of the deep freezer and we couldn't get in it. We were scared, terrified. We ran back inside fast as we could, and we just locked the door, and we didn't go. We were hungry. We didn't eat. So a little while later, you know, my best friend, okay, my other best friend, she's my best friend. I call her from around the corner. Vanessa Peterson, man, that was truly my best friend. We used to go over there for other things. We won't get into that story. Those are different stories for other days. But, yeah, her mom came with her and, you know, her sister and brother and stuff, and they picked us up, took us over there, and, you know, they were asking us what happened, and we honestly didn't know. We just knew that our mom, our brothers, our sisters, they were gone, and our dad never came back home. We were hungry, you know. That's all we knew. So we're staying at their house for maybe a day or two, and then our mom comes. She comes to get us, and we're thinking, yay, we're gonna go with y'all, we're gonna be able to hang out and all this stuff. Nope. She took us to go get some McDonald's, and then we were dropped off at this lady's house that I think I'd only met one time my whole life. Literally, one time my whole life. And she was my aunt. She was my dad's brother. I mean, not my dad's brother. She's my dad's sister. And I'd never met her my whole life. But one time, maybe at Christmas. And even then, I was really small. So, we ended up living with her for a while, and it was very awkward because we didn't know anything about her. She didn't know us. Of course she knew us, but she didn't know us personally. She didn't know what we liked. She didn't know what kind of kids we were. Nothing like that. And to be honest, she was very mean. She was really strict, I'll say. I won't say mean. And we didn't understand her really. And I tell you this, she didn't start lightening up till we became like preteens, teenagers, old enough. I guess it was a type of discipline tactic. I don't know. She was really strict and mean, and we weren't used to it. You know, I used to cry every day. I used to cry at night, and it was really hard for me to sleep. I remember she would drop us off at my grandma's house. Now, we knew our grandmother. We didn't know her that well either because we rarely went over there, but we knew our grandma. And, you know, we'd go over there, and we'd be over there for the mornings until our Aunt Rose got off work. And, you know, our Uncle O.C., he was like that comic relief that you need. He was the funniest uncle ever. And he always would keep that smile. Like, he wouldn't let, you know, she's being mean, oh, Rose, let them have ice cream, or they're okay, the kids are like they're having fun, y'all want to go outside, stuff like that. Like, he was that uncle. So, you know, he was that relief going back over there. Funniest thing about him, I remember he used to pay me like $7 to rub his feet with lotion. Me being a kid, I was like, $7? Dude, which toe? Like, I used to go for it. So, let's fast forward a little bit. You know, we ended up not leaving from my grandmother's house anymore. You know, my aunt just brought our stuff over, and we ended up living with her. So it was like these custody court battles going back and forth for, you know, who wanted us. Truth be told, I didn't know what was going on at the time, but being older and knowing the situation a little bit better, it was like a struggle of no one really had time to raise any more kids. And my dad ended up being in jail. He ended up, you know, getting into some bad trouble. And I didn't know anything about that side of him. I didn't know anything about, you know, him being involved with those things. I had no idea. So all this is pretty much new to me. All these custody court battles, you know, it was just going back and forth with who's going to be with them, who's going to take care of them, who's going to collect this check. That's when everybody's light bulbs was like, ding. My grandparents weren't standing for that. You know, they were like, yeah, not about to make these kids out of money banks. They took us under their wing. I lived with my grandparents for 12 years. 12 years. They raised me. So, you know, me and my sister, I thought would have become a lot closer. No, for a little bit, yes, but it seemed to separate us because, you know, I don't know, I felt like she distanced herself. I feel like she kind of just pulled towards getting away from anything that brought the memory of what happened to us, which was me. I had both, mom and dad. Mom was gone, dad was gone. I combined both of those tragedies for her, and I feel like that honestly was what pushed her away from me. Like she was not a big sister to me. When we were really small, yeah, nobody could mess with me. Nobody could even talk about me wrong without her having my back. But when we got down there in Lamarck, it was a different story. Like, she wasn't that sister anymore, and I didn't understand, and it kind of hurt my heart. Like, I wanted my best friend back. You know, I wanted to be that duo again. But it just changed, and we ended up going to this church called New Hope Bible Baptist Church in Lamarck, Texas, and she met these girls that went to her high school, and they were not the best influence on her because she just went really mean, and besides mean, she wilded out in a lot of different other ways that I'm not going to expose her business on, but it took her on a left path, and you know, it affected our relationship so bad because, keep in mind, I'm still purely innocent at this point. Like, I wasn't always into the things that I got into. I wasn't always into the tragedies, the bad things that I was in. I wasn't always into that. So this was all very new to me. And then at some point, things started clicking. Like, I got older and things started clicking that life for me was never going to be the same. That the things that I had to encounter had only just began. And being in the light that I was now enlightened to, I got with the program too, you know, not in incriminating myself on video, but let's just say I had to get with a lot of things. Survival tactics, you know, living in Lamarck. If you don't know where Lamarck, Texas is, it's in Galveston. It's in Galveston County, and you know, it's better now, but when I was growing up, it wasn't exactly the place for an innocent-minded kid. A kid that, you know, you want to think outside the box. Because, honestly, the only reason why I came out the way that I did is because of the mindset that I have. I always had the mindset of, okay, y'all are doing it, but I don't have to do it too. Or, yeah, I'm in this situation right now, but it doesn't affect my persona. It doesn't affect who I am. It's not going to take away from me. Yeah, y'all are tripping with y'all homework and stuff, but I can keep up with y'all giggling and laughing and acting a fool and still pull my grades. I was that type of person. And, you know, just running through all those different obstacles in my life, it was hard. It was really hard. I can say that much. Like, I'm trying not to, because I can't really tell y'all what I went through without, you know, putting a lot of bad things on me that could later come to bite me in the ass. So I'm just gonna say in the best way, guys, life was not the easiest. Life wasn't easy at all growing up. So fast forward, I kept my focus in sports. You know, I had to get in sports because I was getting in too much trouble. I was getting into too many bad things, and my grandparents didn't want to see me go through that same route. Only thing I would hear is, you're just like your daddy. You're just like your daddy. You're going to be just like your daddy. I hated hearing that because to me, that meant that I was going to be a failure. To me, it meant that I was going to be a high school dropout and I was going to have to go back and get a GED. To me, that meant that I was going to eventually be locked up in jail one day. To me, that just meant that I was totally nothing. It would never be anything. That's what that meant to me, so I hated it. I get pissed every time someone would tell me that. And that's all I would hear from people. So I made a very conscious decision to change, to just completely stop and do different, do better. And so I took my life and I turned it around, and I decided to put my focus on different things. I got into sports. I fell in love with basketball like no other. Track, volleyball. I played every single sport in high school. The only thing we didn't have was swimming and anything that might be out of the state of Texas. We don't have all those sports. But yeah, I got really involved in it. I fell in love with it. In sports, especially track and field, it taught me a very big lesson, about teamwork, about caring, about character. It taught me a lot of things that I never would have grasped, not getting involved in it, not really taking it serious. And it just built the person that I am today. So I made it my duty that I would get out of Lamarck. I would leave and I would go find something better. So I was a year ahead of my class, kind of. See, my birthday is in April. School doesn't end till like May, June-ish. So I could have graduated with 2013 or 2014. I graduated with 2014. So I was a year up on them, but kind of still in the same, like they were still 1995 pretty much, but I'm April, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I turned 18 my junior year, the end of my junior year. So already coming into my senior year, I would be 18, a legal adult. So I was like, I'm getting out of here. I did not stay at Lamarck High School. I missed my friends. I missed the people that I met. All of y'all were great, and a lot of people were very mad at me for doing that. They didn't understand why. They were very confused about it. It kind of just hit everybody at a slam because no one saw it coming. They were just like, I never talked about it. And it just kind of hit everyone at a slam. They're like, yo, you were leaving? Like, you're gone? Like, what? You're not coming back this year? No, I'm not coming back. I moved in with my Uncle Mark, who is my mom's, my mama that birthed me, her brother. And I moved in with him, and he so graciously took me out of his wing. And, I was able to live with my two favorite cousins on my mom's side. Like, I never, we were also separated at that point of things. Like, life was just terrible. Life was so struggleish. Or struggleish, is that a word? Life was just that for me. Like, there were so many cousins I was separated from because of so much stupid things, and I had no idea what was going on when I was little. When I found those things out as I got older, it made me even more mad. Like, the energy inside of me, the strive, the drive, everything that is inside of me is because of this story. I have to be better than my circumstances. I have to be better than the environment that I came up with, because I will not be another statistic. I will not be another orphan or foster kid that comes up and just fails at life. No, I will be that kid that goes and achieves the things that everyone told me I couldn't. And even the things that no one even thought of me ever doing. I will be that. And I'm already on my way to doing so. So, I moved up to Houston. I actually met Jasmine, in the process of moving up here. So, a lot of them thought, she's just moving up here to date her, get closer to her. That was purely coincidence, and that actually just turned out to be chance, and that was my fate, honestly, because 4 years later, and I'm still with the same girl. And it's crazy. Like, I can't get into that. That's another story for another day. Just know it's real love. But, yeah, I came up here, and I met her in the process of things, and, that whole summer, just mine went on this crazy grow-up journey. Like, I'm not the same person. If you knew me back then, you don't think that's still me. I'm a completely different person now. Completely. Like, I'm changed completely. Like, you wouldn't recognize me if you didn't know me that well back then. You damn sure don't know me now. So let's just say that. So yeah, that summer, I went through this entire mind grow up maturity thing. Like, I saw the world a lot differently than I ever did. I got a lot closer to my two cousins. We shared so many more things than we ever knew we did. I ended up going to Channelview High School up here in Houston, Texas, and I said up here like I'm still in Texas. Up there and down there. Damn, I'm up here now. Down there in Houston, Texas. And yeah, it was definitely different than I ever expected, because I've never went to such a quiet high school. My very first day of school, walked in the building and yo, the halls are silent. I was like, where's the rowdiness? Where are the seniors running crazy? Where's all the fights? Where's all the trash talk? I don't hear anyone cursing. All of y'all are talking way too proper. Where are your aunts and nots and what's going on? Where are y'all ebonics at? These kids were strange to me because they weren't like I was used to. But me, I'm the type I can quickly get with the program, still keeping to myself, you know, still being me. So, I made a lot of friends. Like, I made a lot of people that were really just likable, and they liked who I was as a person. Like, I will say that about Channaview. I didn't catch any of that, you know how you do new kids? Well, I know how we did new kids. I didn't catch any of that, you know. I was just like basketball, track. I only did those two. I didn't really go for anything else. I wasn't trying to make any friends, and especially after basketball crushed my spirits. Coach Lockett. Anyways, yeah, basketball crushed my spirits after I wasn't able to play on the varsity team. I only could play varsity off season. Transfers from middle school to a new school, you know, especially as a senior and on a varsity level, you got to go through paperwork. And, you know, if you don't have anybody willing to help you and push you out with that, you're not going to get anywhere. So, yeah, it's just a long, tedious process. And, you know, I just grew up a lot since then. Let's say it's going on 3 years later. 3 years later, because it's 2017 now. 3 years later after graduating, you know, still growing, still a different person. Like, I'm very playful, but at the same time, very mature, very in tune with me as a being. And, you know, that's just a little synopsis into my life, you know. I got creative. Always have been creative with writing, always have been a writer, a poet, a musical person, a musical being, athletic. It's all breezy. You know, just for the sake of this video being half an hour long, I'm going to hit a part 2 on y'all later. But yeah, that's just the whole build-up of who Child of a Star is. My mother's in the stars. I'm her child. I'm a child of a star. This is my story. This was my struggle. This will be my uprising. Y'all stay tuned. Don't sleep on your girl. I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought. Any questions that you may have, I am glad to answer them. You know, I won't do it on video, but, you know, if you do want to know about some of the things that I actually did have to go through and work through, I will very proudly. I'm not ashamed of my struggle or things that I had to do. They made me who I am. So, if you want to know, just go ahead and ask. We can do a message. I'll hit you up. Thank y'all again. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your girl Breezy. We out.